Listening, Part 3. In Part 3 of the listening paper, you will have 8 statements or topics labelled with the letters A to H. For the audio recording of Part 3, you will listen to 5 different speakers all talking about the same subject. For example, they may all talk about their experience at an event or their recent travels. As you listen, your task will be to match each speaker to the content they discuss. As there are 8 statements and only 5 speakers, 3 of the statements will not be used. You match one of the remaining statements to each speaker. Let's try an example together. For the purposes of the example, you will only match 4 statements with 3 speakers. However, in the actual exam, there will be 8 statements with 5 speakers. In this audio recording, 3 speakers talk about their recent visit to a city. Choose what each speaker liked most about the city they visited from the list. Now you'll hear the 3 speakers talk about their visit. Speaker 1. The city was divided by a river, and getting round had its problems, especially as we didn't really understand the city plan. The best way was the ferries. I was really impressed that they were always on time and provided good views of the city. The trams were good too, and the local commuters seemed happy to chat to us and give us ideas for the best things to do and see. We didn't have time to do everything, though. Speaker 2. Even though we had a city plan, we got lost several times, especially in the old town where the buildings were quite similar. Though I know some people say getting lost is the best way to get to know a city. We were never short of help, though. Some people were even prepared to walk with us to show us the way. That was something I'll always remember. Speaker 3. We were pretty tired when we first arrived, so we were glad just to relax. We'd booked late, and I have to say that the room wasn't the best I've stayed in. But we had a view of the lake, which was a real treat. We were really impressed by the forests and mountains around the city. We made good use of the swimming pool, though we were too lazy to go to the famous markets. If you listened carefully, you probably heard that the first speaker found the ferries and trams to be the best way to get around the city, and was impressed that the ferries was so punctual. In other words, she really liked the efficiency of the transportation, which is why A matches with Speaker 1. The second speaker will never forget how the people in the city offered to help them when they were lost. In other words, she liked the helpfulness of the people, which is why D matches with Speaker 2. The third speaker appreciated the view of the lake from her room and was impressed by the forests and mountains around the city. In other words, she liked the natural beauty of the scenery, which is why C matches with Speaker 3. None of the speakers discussed the markets in the city, so option B does not apply to any of the speakers. Tips. Use the time you are given to read through the questions in order to have a clear idea of what you are listening for. If you don't understand one of the speakers, the best thing to do is move on and not worry about it. If you continue to think about what the last speaker said, you won't be able to listen to the current speaker. so don't let one difficult section distract you from the rest of the audio. And remember, you will always have a second chance to hear the speaker because the recording will be played twice.